Well, it's Saturday night at Fully Tech Mechanical, and we've got another gem in the shop we've started tearing down. It's a 1967 327. We think it's out of a little Chevy too, but we're not exactly sure. But we're going to build it up at some point to put in a early 80s Chevy pickup. The motor was just slightly seized. There was a little bit of water got in it during storage and seized the rings on cylinder number 3 and 4 and number 8. But we soaked them with penetrating oil and worked it back and forth, and we got it freed up. So we will be able to turn the motor over and tear it down and go the rest of the way. Something that's kind of been a pet peeve of mine for a lot of years. I was taught a long time ago by Ron Beauchamp to never ever flip one of these engines over with the oil pan still on it. It's a bit of a pain to kind of crouch down and pull all the pan bolts off, but if you think about it, there's 40 years of shit in the bottom of that oil pan, and we can only drain as much of it out as possible. There's still stuff in there, and the last thing we want to do is dump that right back on the crank and the rods and all the bearings. In this case, it really doesn't matter because the motor is going to come completely apart and go to the machine shop and get washed up and basically be new. But if we were just freshening a motor up, say putting bearings in or inspecting something, as soon as you flip that over, you've dumped all that crap in, and now you've committed yourself to pulling that engine apart if you plan on doing the job properly. So we're going to show you here in just a sec. So we've taken all the pan bolts out, and now we're ready to drop the pan, and we'll show you all the nasty stuff that'll be living inside of there. Look at all that nasty stuff. That's the last thing you want to flip over and dump right back on your crank and your rods. But having that all off, it looks like we've got something we can work with. You can see there's a bit of rust on all the moving parts. So this motor's been sitting for probably about 15 years. So it's going to come completely apart, and hopefully the crank is good and we can polish it up and balance it and build a nice little hot rod motor. And there's a better look at it. Like I said, a little bit of surface rust and some varnish in that, but she looks in really good shape. If I look this good when I'm 50 years old, I think I've got her made. Anyways, we'll do a bunch more videos as this gets torn down, cleaned up, machined, and built back up. Fully Tech Mechanical.